A good rule of public speaking is to state your best position first. So here it is. For the second year in a row, our rates to our members will remain flat, no increase. A good question to ask is, how did we do that? The answer? Tenacious hard work by our employees, precise execution of projects, creative and innovative problem solving, a good plan, forward-thinking leadership. So here's how we did it. In 2018, we completed our $20 million AMI project. While later Greg will review some of the operational benefits we're already seeing, I'd like to share with you now some of the financial benefits. Over the 15-year life of our project, our members will realize over $6 million in net present value, which will go directly to partially offsetting rate increases for all of our members. We replaced 141,000 old meters, had a 99.97% satisfaction rating from our members on the project implementation, and came in $1.5 million under budget. Last year, we added 10 megawatts of renewable solar generation and 15 megawatts of battery storage. Because of how we structured our power purchase agreement for the solar and the energy storage agreement for the battery, Conexus did not make a capital outlay for either project. All the technology and operational risk associated with the battery was retained by our partner, NextEra, one of the world's largest renewable energy providers. That means that as the batteries weaken or fail over the next 25 years, it's up to NextEra, not Conexus, to replace the cells to keep the project at 15 megawatts. The project will immediately, starting this year, reduce our cost of power by a net $1.8 million per year. Looking back 30 years gives us a perspective of how much growth we've seen and how productive our employees are. Since 1988, our membership has more than doubled from 64,000 to 134,000. The miles of line we've built and maintain to bring electric service to your home or business has gone from 5,300 to over 9,200. That's up over 70%. We've made investments in technology that make our employees more productive. And as a result, the number of our full-time employees has increased only 21%. The productivity and commitment from our employees is one reason we delivered no rate increase in 2018 and no increase for 2019. In fact, right now, our average residential member is paying 7.2% less than Xcel. Returning cash to our consumer members is unique to electric cooperatives and something Conexus has been doing since the 1960s. In 2018, we returned $8 million to our members. We've also realized that we're at an amazing point in the history of Conexus. In 2019, we will surpass $100 million in total cash back paid. That's right, Conexus will have returned $100 million to you, our members. If you were a customer of an investor-owned utility or a municipal-owned utility, that $100 million would not be coming back to you. Great River Energy, our wholesale power supplier, spent nearly 20 years strengthening their balance sheet by increasing their equity. Now they're returning some of that equity to their members, including Conexus. Last month, we received our first ever capital credit payment of $3,039,000 from Great River. 50% of that cash is being used to keep our rates flat in 2019, and the other half is being used to reduce our debt. We expect another $28 million over the next 5 years. Our revenue grew to $272 million, up $10 million from 2017. Our kilowatt-hour sales increased just under 5% for 2018 due to the warmer than normal weather in May to September, which added $10.7 million to our revenue. However, when we forecast our sales assuming normal weather, we see no increase. Conservation efforts by our existing members offset growth from new members. In addition to estimates for depreciation and pension expense, we also estimate how much energy each member uses from the time of their last bill until the end of the current month. For decades, we used a reasonable but conservative method to estimate our unbilled revenue every month. The results were consistent. Then, when we installed our AMI system, it allowed us to calculate a much more accurate estimate of the unbilled kilowatt hours. Using the better data, we increased our estimate for unbilled revenue, which added a one-time $8.2 million increase to our 2018 revenue. Power cost credits from Great River passed directly to our members as a reduction in your electric bill, reduced revenue by $4.7 million. Our wholesale power cost is our largest single expense, and it declined by $1.5 million. Excluding the drop in expense from the purchases for Elk River Municipal Utilities and adjustments for credits, the nearly 5% increase in kilowatt hours purchased due to the warm weather drove our power costs up $7.5 million. However, our wholesale power costs remain stubbornly high. They are 75% of our costs. The price we pay for power is 9th highest among all 799 cooperatives in the lower 48 states. It's the highest in Minnesota. That's one of the reasons why we did our solar and storage project. We're working with Great River to redesign their antiquated rate formulas that cost Conexus members millions per year, but it's an uphill battle. And we're continuing to seek ways to buy more low-cost renewable energy within the restrictions of our Great River contract. In October 2018, our contract to sell power to Elk River Municipal Utilities ended. With only 9 months of sales in 2018, both our revenue and cost of purchased power declined. We earned $1 million in gross margin on the contract last year. Our operating expenses increased only slightly, partly due to the cost savings from AMI and the tenacious work of our employees to keep spending as low as possible. Our bottom line, our net margin, was a strong $21.7 million. The board allocated this to members in March. Our balance sheet is strong and robust. A $200 million investment from members in the form of members' equity, $164 million in long-term debt capital, and $9 million in short-term debt from our banks allow us to fund over 9,200 miles of distribution line needed to bring electricity to your homes. We have $85 million in low-cost lines of credit from 2 banks for our short-term borrowing needs and an additional $25 million in committed long-term borrowing capacity. We easily met all the loan covenants required by our lenders in 2018. 2018 was a fantastic year from a financial perspective. There is no rate increase for the second year in a row, and we'll surpass $100 million in cash back paid to our members in 2019. Thank you.